if you're not ready for change, it will never come. So before you even watch this video, the most important thing that you have to ask yourself is, are you actually ready for the change that you want? A lot of people will tell themselves that they're ready to change their life. They want all of these things. They have all of these goals. They'll even sit down and journal, write out a whole plan of how they're going to change their life and all of the things that they're going to do. But then it never actually happens, and they find that they'll give up after a little, or they just never even actually start on the whole plan. And it just never ends up working, and their life just stays the same. And then they're feeling frustrated, and then they'll give up. So the most important thing for you to do is to really ask yourself and to be completely honest with yourself about if you're actually ready for change, if you actually want to change your life and to live a new, different life than the one that you're currently living. And if the answer is yes, then just continue watching. But if the answer is no, maybe you'll save this video and come back to it when you're actually ready for the change. The reason most people's plans to change their life fail is because it's not appealing to them. If you have this amazing plan, if you sit down and you spend hours writing down a plan, all of the habits you're going to adopt, everything you're going to do, but it doesn't actually appeal to you, what's likely going to happen is you're not actually going to do any of the steps that you've written down. You're not going to adopt any of the habits that you want to adopt, and you're not going to make any real significant change in your life. So the key is to make these changes appealing to you. So there are a few ways to do this. The first one is to start with 3 areas that you're going to focus on. When you make too many big changes all at once, it becomes very overwhelming, and when we get overwhelmed, we tend to just give up on the whole thing. So pick 3 areas of your life that you most want to improve. Maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your career, maybe it's your health and fitness, maybe it's your relationships with your friends, maybe it's personal development. Pick just 3 so that you can really focus on those rather than trying to change everything all at once. The next thing we're going to work on is trust. Trust within yourself, your trust in yourself. And the reason this is so important is because every time that you make a plan, or every time that you say you're going to change and do all of these things, but you don't follow through, there's a trust that gets broken. And every time that it happens, you trust yourself less and less. And this is so important because if you can't even trust yourself to follow through on the plans that you've made for yourself, what's going to happen is your confidence and your sort of reliance and your credibility with yourself will go down dramatically. And that's going to make it very hard for you to believe in yourself, to have confidence, to trust that you're actually ever going to accomplish any of the things that you want to. So creating that trust and building up that trust is super important, and it's best to start small. If you will have a fitness goal in mind, maybe you want to start working out and start eating healthy, start really small. If you don't work out at all right now, or if you don't eat very healthy at all right now, start small. Just tell yourself you're going to add some kind of movement to your life once a week. Maybe it's a walk, maybe it's a 5-minute yoga video. Make it as easy and as appealing and as palatable as humanly possible for you to actually do the thing, and that will help you build up trust within yourself. The second thing that's going to help you with this is your view of the situation. So be honest with yourself when you're sitting down and really acknowledge and accept where you are currently, and be brutally honest with yourself about it. When you're able to accept reality, it's gonna make it a lot easier for you to actually take steps towards wherever you're going. Like if you're unhealthy, if you never work out, be honest and accept that, and that will make it easier for you to actually make the change that you want to make. Another mindset shift that's gonna really help you is how you view these change. Most people are super averse to change. It usually brings up feelings of fear and discomfort. We think of change as a new stressful thing, but usually after you adopt a change for a while, you're gonna realize that that actually wasn't that bad. This happens a lot in school or at work. Whenever there's a change, everyone's super resistant and mad. But once the change is fully adopted, then most people will come around and realize that it was actually a good thing, that maybe it was a new system that made everything more efficient and streamlined everything. But the initial phase of it will always feel really uncomfortable because we tend to dislike things that are new. So the way to combat this is to give yourself 21 days for whatever change you're going to adopt. If you're going to start working out, eating healthy, and if at first it feels really weird and uncomfortable and you hate it, give it 21 days so that you can actually get used to it. Because the stories that you tell yourself are very important. If you tell yourself that you're an unhealthy person and that you love to eat an entire bag of chips, like I do, it's going to be very hard for you to be eating healthy foods every single day and incorporating healthy habits into your life. Because deep down, you just believe this story that that's not who you are, and that who you really are is someone who wants to eat a family-sized bag of Lay's on a Tuesday. But what's amazing about this idea of self-concept is it's actually very much malleable and it's always changing. Think back 5 years ago or think back 10 years ago. Who you are, your vision, your identity from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago, versus the identity that you have today is likely not the same. You likely don't view yourself as the same person from 5 or 10 years ago. And realize that your identity is always changing anyway. So what you can do is use that to your advantage. And instead of allowing life to kind of happen to you, you can take back control, rewrite your story, and create the life that you actually want. The next thing is going to be building habits for the 3 goals that you set, the 3 areas of your life that you've really focus on. And for this, we're gonna use the 80-20 rule. So basically you want to target the 20% that's going to give you the most results, that's gonna give you 80% of the results. So let's say one of your areas is fitness. What you're gonna target is nutrition, because exercise, you can exercise a lot. You can start going to the gym 7 days a week. Exercise does not really yield results and progress when it comes to things like weight loss or building muscle. It does, but like 20%. If your goal is to lose weight or to lose fat, targeting nutrition and diet is going to give you 80% of the results. So that's really what you want to focus on. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the gym. It will definitely help if you add exercise to your life, but really you're not gonna work out 7 days a week and ignore your nutrition, because then you're gonna see no results and you're gonna feel like you're putting in a lot of work. You're gonna feel like, hey, I'm going to the gym every day, I'm killing myself every day, and there's no results, so I might as well give up. But no, you're gonna be smart. You're gonna target the 20% that is nutrition, that's going to give you 80% of the results, and it will feel a lot easier and a lot more palatable. The change won't be as intense and as scary. And when you start seeing results, it's gonna keep you motivated and it's gonna keep you going. Same thing with any other areas of your life that you want to change. Maybe one is finances. So you're not gonna necessarily focus too much of your energy on saving. Maybe you are if you're terrible with money and you don't save anything at all, then yeah, you can work on that. But it would probably be more effective and more efficient to focus on increasing your income, because that is a little bit more limitless, because there's only so much you can really cut back and save. And after a certain point, the only real way to increase your finances and increase your wealth is to make more. So you're gonna focus on that instead. The next one is to schedule check-ins so that you can review your progress. I would probably recommend maybe once a month or once every 3 months. You're gonna set little milestones that you want to hit, maybe once a month, once every 3 months. I don't want it to be every week for you, because then that kind of feels like a lot and it's hard to see progress really from week to week. Like if you're trying to lose weight and you're checking in every single week and you're like, oh, I only lost half a pound, and that feels like not that much. If you check in once every 3 months and you're like, oh, hey, I've lost 3 pounds, that feels like a bigger accomplishment and it feels a lot more motivating. And also change takes time, so I don't want you to be like super stressed out about the timeline, because even though it can help motivate you, it can also be discouraging if you're checking in too often and not seeing too much progress. So check in once a month, check in once every 3 months on where you are and where you're going. And then this is the part where some of you will start to get really hard on yourself and get discouraged, because you're like, oh, I'm not making that much progress, I only lost 2 pounds, whatever. So we want to acknowledge every time that you make progress towards your goal, even if it's like 2 pounds, even if you only set up like automatic savings and you don't really feel like it was a huge accomplishment. You want to take the time to celebrate your little wins and celebrate every time that you've made a positive change in the right direction, because we want to keep ourselves motivated. The key is to keep going. If you keep going, you will eventually get there, but if you give up, you will essentially never get there. So let's say you only lost 2 pounds. Okay, let's say in the 6 months you literally only lost 2 pounds, but your life doesn't end in 6 months. You can just keep going. You can just keep doing this until you get to where you want to be. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you next time. Bye!